Welcome to your key discovery point. I am Brett Burney from Nextpoint, joined by Doug Austin of eDiscovery today. You know, Doug, just the other day, I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be nice if someone kind of in the know in the e-discovery industry would put together a pretty comprehensive report to show the trends, to ask the right questions, to see what's going on. And this morning, I get on the blog, Doug, eDiscovery today, and my wish has been granted. The 2025 State of the Industry report has now been released. You need to sign up at eDiscovery today to get it. We'll get into that in just a minute. But first of all, congratulations. I'm sure this only took you a couple hours of your day, right? To get this out.
Right.
But
right,
this is
Brett,
so
yeah.
great news, Doug. Congratulations.
Well, thanks, Brett. And obviously, you're kidding because you and Nextpoint were participants in the report.
Yes.
But yeah, this is something I started doing the first year of the blog. So this is the fifth annual report. Every year it's gotten
Wow.
bigger. This year
Yeah.
we had 551 respondents to the survey. And
Good
we had
night.
63 thought leaders also provide thought leader observations. So
Yeah.
it's a unique
Yeah.
report in that it's both a survey on key topics in e-discovery and then thought leader observations on those same topics. So every year, I report on the results. I also do breakdowns, like if you see that top bullet point there, I break down the respondents. So there's service providers, law firms,
Right.
consultants, corporations, government entities, and then the rest of the folks. For the first time, given the size of the response group, I was able to break out government entity respondents as well. So
Oh,
five
that's great.
groups broken out in terms of their particular responses to the questions. And then this is also even though 80.6% being U.S. respondents seems like a lot, that means 1 out of 5 is international, which is the highest number we've had
Right.
yet. So
Oh,
we're
that's
still
great too.
broadening in that regard too. And then, as you see with some of the bullet points there, some of the results, I asked 3 Gen AI questions this year. One of them was
Right.
expected impact on e-discovery in 2025, and more than a quarter of respondents expect them to have Gen AI and LLMs to have a transformative effect this year, and more than 4 in 5 expect it to at least create new workflows this year. So
Right.
that's pretty impressive. It's also being applied to 7 different e-discovery use cases by more than 30% of respondents. So things like document review, document summarization, PII identification, translation, and so forth. But not a lot are using it in their actual cases yet, only 12.3%. You may recall last year at
Right.
EltaCon, I went out on a limb and said, when I ask this question next year, I expect the all or most folks to be 50%. So we have a way to go there, but
A little
I'm
ways to go. Yeah.
sticking with my prediction, and we'll see what happens. I also asked questions about predictive coding, what percentage of cases you use predictive coding, cases involving mobile devices and collaboration apps. I also
Yes.
Yeah, and those are continuing to grow overall. There was a little bit of a slip this year from their highs of last year, but still generally, being involved in more and more cases each year. One question I've asked the last 3 years is use cases that e-discovery technology and workflows are being applied to. And again, this year, 7 cases were identified as being applied by more than 40% of respondents. So,
Nice.
that's notable in terms of the fact that it illustrates just how e-discovery is about a lot more than litigation today.
Right. Right.
And organizations should be thinking about it for these other use cases. I also asked for the first year a question about whether hyperlinked files should be treated as modern attachments. And I'm going to leave
And
that as a teaser because
oh,
it's
you're such a tease.
interesting. I know but hey, I want people to get the report. It is an interesting result that was a bit surprising. And of
Okay.
course, as with that question and with all the other questions, I got thought leader observations on that particular question, and you from Nextpoint were one of the respondents that responded. So I'm actually going to read just a little snippet of your response
Oh,
When
okay.
you said that the hyperlink file should only be produced if the hyperlink file is relevant and responsive. That's your observation. And then another thing you pointed out, which was unique, is additionally, I believe there should be focus on intent. Was hyperlink file intended to be part of the overall communication?
Right.
And
Yeah.
I definitely think that one of the things we're starting to get into some nuance there, which is why I didn't ask just a basic yes or no question on the survey. I broke down a couple of different variations of both yes and no in that regard. So, uh,
Yeah.
okay, trend of the
Can I
year.
just, yeah, can I
Yeah,
just say,
go
Doug,
ahead.
I mean, this is what I so enjoy about, because I followed you over all these 5 years doing this report and seeing it grow. And I think I think it's just the benefit of your particular and specific situation where you in, that you can just give such a comprehensive overview of some of these things. In other words, we hear a lot about the mobile collections, we hear about modern attachments, the collaboration platforms and stuff, and we all know that to some extent things are happening in the industry and we're doing collection, but it's just so good. And what I appreciate from you is the fact that you kind of distill this down into some of the numbers, so at least we have a little bit of a more foundational idea. We have quantitative numbers that we can kind of look at to kind of get a general idea of exactly, how important this is. And I mean, this is so beneficial both from the vendor side as well as the law firm side, obviously, and even the corporate side and the government side, everything that, that you've involved in there. And so I just got to say congratulations again, because it's such a comprehensive report, and it's just going to be amazing for folks to kind of comb through this. And you even did a good job with all your pie charts and stuff. I know, obviously, it takes quite a while for you to do all of this, but just an incredible body of work here that we definitely want to make sure that people know how they can get a copy of this, Doug.
Indeed, absolutely. Which it's free. All you have to do
It's
is be
amazing.
a email follower of eDiscovery today, and
Oh,
not
that's
only does
easy.
that,
Okay.
yeah, there you go. And there's a link at the top there, or I should say a dialog box. Just plop in your email address, follow the blog by email. Respond to the confirmation email, and you're subscribing, and you'll get not only this report, but any other report or white paper eDiscovery Today produces. So
Yeah.
when we do it again next year, you'll get that. You'll get any other reports we produce, and of course, daily news and trends on eDiscovery and related topics.
Yeah, that's so great. So, as just to underscore that, eDiscovery Today, all one word together.com is the website to go to. And I know that you have this follow the blog via email. You have that capability on several of the page, pretty much any of the pages in the top right hand
Oh,
corner. You have
it's
the
on
ability.
every page
Yep.
in the
I
site.
know.
So
And that's great. And it's just so worthwhile because you do literally produce at least one blog post a day, sometimes multiple. And, I even tell people, because sometimes people say it's like there's so much. And of course, I've told you this before. It's amazing how much information you put out. But even just being able to see the headlines sometimes is so helpful, Doug. The way that you put that out, whether it's a piece of news to be aware of, or even some kind of a case law or something like that. So I just tell people it's so worthwhile on that as well. If you want to go into a little bit more detail and hear some more from Doug, along with some of our friends at EDRM, Mary Mack, I believe, is going to be on, and Kaylee from EDRM, you are going to be doing a webinar with them. I think so. Today is Thursday, January 30th, 2025, when we're recording this. And I see down here for, let's see, next Friday, February 7th at 1 p.m., you are going to be doing a webinar with Mary and Kaylee at EDRM, where you're going to discuss some of the actual statistics in there. That is going to be worthwhile, not to be missed.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and one thing I should mention, which which was remiss in not mentioning before now, is EDRM is a sponsor of this report, has been a sponsor of this report all 5 years.
So
So
great.
certainly I appreciate their support as well in helping this to grow, and certainly am looking forward to discussing the results with Mary on a week from tomorrow, February 7th.
February 7th. So, and you have the link to that webinar down at the bottom of your post, and
Correct.
I'm sure you'll have some additional posts. You do a great job on LinkedIn of posting about that, but go and sign up for that. Even if you are not able to be there, a lot of times we do this, right? If you can't be there live, you get a recording of it, and to me, that's even worthwhile to kind of pour over this, especially if you get a copy of that report. So go to eDiscoverytoday.com, sign up for Doug's great blog here. That way you'll get a copy, a free copy, which is amazing, of the 2025 State of the Industry Report. As always, you can also go to nextpoint.com. We have a blog there as well. You don't have to sign up for ours. It'd be great if you do, but this is where we also provide some additional information. And Doug, you're usually kind to also repost this for us a lot of times, especially even the fact that Dr. Dave Lewis came on board at Nextpoint not too long ago, and you were very kind to cover that. So it's just a great relationship here where we're able to post and kind of highlight some of the work that we're both doing. So thanks again, Doug. And that's your key discovery point today. Go to eDiscoverytoday.com, sign up for the blog post from Doug so that you can get a copy of the 2025 State of the Industry Report. We'll talk with you next time, Doug.
All right. Thanks, Brett. Thanks, everybody.